Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the First Class Sports Podcast. My name is Bobby,
I'm Eric.
and today is September 20th, 2023. Glad to have you back. Missed you the past couple of weeks. Last week was expected. I carried on, brought my dad down here. We did all right. He didn't want to do the whole recap one. He just did picks with me.
It's fine. He held the fort down, though.
He did. You know, it's always nice to. I don't know how to get this off my screen. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, there we
By the
go.
way, Bobby's got a lot of porn on his screen right now.
Dude, calm down. I got a lot of tabs open. You see that? Anyway, he did. I liked. He's picks. He's good with recap. He doesn't really watch a lot of the games. He'll catch recap here and there. Sports Center, but watching it live, sometimes he's retired now. He gets to watch Sports Center all day when he's up there. So
Yeah.
speaking of recapping, that is what this episode will be. We are going to be recapping Week 2 of the NFL. Last week, I went. Let's see here. I went.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to figure out. I wasn't prepared. I went 10 out of 16. You went 9 of 16. And my dad won the week going 11 of 16.
How did we lose the same amount, but you got one more? How does that happen?
Huh?
You said you went 9 of 16. You went
Out
10.
of.
Oh.
Out of. There's only 16 games. So I won 10 out of 16.
Oh. I get what you're putting down now.
So yes, Dad won that week. I think, defending reigning champ out of that league, my Uncle Keith is still tied for first place. Oh well, I won the other one. That's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, I got that one right here. This is the overall trophy that you're going for.
That one?
Yes, it'll look exactly like this.
Okay.
So, anyways, going over those, we can do. Let's do that, and then we'll do news afterwards.
Do what?
Reviewing of the.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Normally we do it the other way, but I think we need to do it this way. We'll review the games first, and then we'll do some of the news at the end because it's kind of what happened after that. So first game up last week was Vikings at Eagles, Thursday night game. Eagles won 34-28. I thought this was going to be a little bit more of a blowout by Philly. And by all means...
Kind of was, though.
Yeah, but Vikings...
Eagles did what they always do. They score a lot of points in the first half, and then they just let the foot off the gas in the second half, and the other team...
I mean, but they scored more in the second half. They only scored 13 in the first.
True, I guess.
It wasn't a problem. The main thing was the fact that the Vikings just kept turning the ball over. Vikings had like 17 turnovers. That's not the actual number, but they had several fumbles that they just kept giving the ball away. And if they hadn't have done that, that's a touchdown game. Vikings easily could have won that game. And the week before that, the Patriots easily could have beaten the Eagles. This isn't currently, right now, I said it last week, when we're getting into the new season, especially since we lost a preseason game,
Yeah.
I think defenses are ahead of offenses. So we're seeing a lot of these high-powered offenses that looked really good last year.
Bengals.
Yeah, they need to straighten up. Philly, they're not doing as well as they should. Maybe they'll key in. I'm guessing around week 4, everything will settle in, and we'll see those big teams like they should start winning. So I mean, Jalen Hurts did. He was sacked 4 times though. So for that offensive line, that's supposed to be it's held as one of the best offensive lines in the league. He got sacked 4 times. AJ Brown had a quiet night. He only had 29 yards.
But Devontae Smith, though.
Devontae Smith popped off. See, that's kind of the feast or famine when you have both. Oddly enough, some other teams can feed more than one. We've seen it in a few other teams. We'll get there. But it seems like it's harder for Jalen to feed both. So you're either going to have...
Well, you saw it happen in the game. You saw A.J. Brown get frustrated.
Yeah. He was yelling at... Yeah, he was kind of... We don't really know what he was saying. And the coach kind of shrugged it off like, nothing happened. But Devontae ended with... Now, they both had 4 catches. However, Devontae had 131 yards and a touchdown compared to the 29 that Brown had.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, Justin Jefferson had 11 for 159, no touchdowns. Jordan Addison had 3 for 72 in that touchdown. Kirk Cousins was 31 for 44 for 364 and 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, he did.
Now, here's the kicker. Let's sprinkle in the news here, since we're here.
Oh,
it just happened because for a team, the Vikings only ran for 28 yards.
Madison has not looked good this year.
No, unfortunately.
At all.
However, they might be getting some help. Maybe. We'll see. The Los Angeles Rams have traded Cam Akers to the Minnesota Vikings. And I believe the comp is literally late 6th round picks in 2026. So, in 3 years.
Yeah, they swapped a 2026 late round picks as part of the deal is what it says.
So, yeah. I mean, okay. There's some help coming, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So, for me... I watched this. I went to B-Dubs again. I didn't stay the whole time like the Thursday before. I was actually shocked at how close this kept. I thought Eagles would have
pulled away with the
pulled away a
and
lot
stuff
more.
going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, and it didn't seem like they could capitalize like they probably would have last year. Last year, I think they would have easily pulled this game away. And Minnesota, for what they showed me last week, which was nothing, This week they came back against Philly and were able to do so. Now, again, I don't know. At least, like I said, it's going to be very difficult to pick these first few weeks until teams start to settle into their identity.
They'll start winning some games. They'll look like how they did last year, where they're like the best worst team in the league.
Minnesota, yeah. So, on to Sunday games.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you chose this one. We're gonna go Green Bay.
Some may say I have big balls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very big balls.
Yes.
That's my wife.
You. No, I will not actually. Falcons won this 25-24. I believe you were the only one to take Atlanta.
Was.
I thought Jordan. Now thinking about it, I probably should have gone with Falcons once Aaron Jones went out, and so was Christian Watson.
But to be fair, Packers are leading most of the game, though. So,
They were. Atlanta scored 13 unanswered in the fourth to win.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bijan looked really good again. He took 19 carries for 124. He didn't score a touchdown there.
Algier's still getting plenty of work, too.
Algier is, too. They're doing that 1-2 punch because Algier had 16 for 48. Ritter didn't look bad either. I mean, he was 19 for 32 for 237, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He did also have a rushing touchdown. I consider him kind of a rookie.
Yeah.
This is kind of, I believe, his first year truly starting.
Yeah.
So we're really going to truly see what he has. He's got a lot of young players on that field. Let's see what he can work with. And so far, he's got his team off to a 2-0 start.
He's not doing anything to hurt the team, really.
No. Jordan Love, again, though. Jordan Love, I said it last week, he looked very good, too.
Yep.
He only had 151 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yep. He's very accurate.
Now, unfortunately, they didn't have Aaron Jones to help them. So A.J. Dillon had to take the carry of that, and he had 55 yards on the ground. And then Dobbs, without Christian Watson, that kind of hurt him there. I think if they get those two back, they could be better.
They're gonna be all right. And plus that Jaden Reed, their rookie wide
Yes,
receiver,
I
he's been playing very well
He had 2 of their touchdowns.
since Watson has not been playing. So I expect him to keep being like that even when Watson does return.
Yep.
So it's just gonna help make Love look
A little better.
yeah.
I agree. He was a good fantasy pickup this week, I saw. So for many people. Next is Raiders at Bills. A little bit of redemption for the Bills. Bills. This was probably one of the better blowouts of the week. Bills won 38-10. Garoppolo went 16 for 24 for 185. One touchdown, 2 picks. Allen, after looking awful, week 1. He went 31 for 37 for 274 and 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, it's one of those things. That game last week was a rain game.
It was, and he was trying more. You almost could tell he was trying to force it deep to Diggs, and someone had to get in his head and tell him, don't. So, film work.
I didn't really read into his performance week 1 too much, to be honest with you. He's Josh Allen. We know what you're going to get out of him.
James Cook, though, he feasted. He had 17 carries for 123. And then you had Gabe Davis on the other side. He finally came alive. I had him on my bench, and I'm so mad. But he did nothing week 1. So Gabe Davis had 6 receptions for 92 yards and a touchdown. And Diggs, on 7 targets, had 7 catches for 66 yards.
See, that's one thing that stinks about the Bills, though, is Gabe Davis does that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good one game, and then the next game you get absolutely nothing from him. So I don't know if we want to talk about rumors of trades or anybody, but I know one thing that's out there is like Mike Evans, T. Higgins, names like that thrown out there for trade rumors.
Because they're at the end of their contract.
Yeah, maybe. They dabble into that. I don't know.
Who? The Bills?
Yeah.
Getting either Mike Evans or.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, the thing, we can go with that in a minute. On the flip side, for the Raiders, Devontae Adams had 6 for 84 and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs ran 9 times for -2 yards. I think that was some kind of record for the reigning rushing champion.
I believe it was.
To get -2 yards in a game.
Yep.
He did have. Didn't he have some catches? No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. He had 5 for 51. But -2 rushing yards is kind of. I didn't watch enough to see that, but that's, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of not what you want. But Bills won as expected. This was one where I was more 50-50, and I'm a little more worried this year than last year. Ravens at Cincinnati. This was a very close, very good divisional rivalry type of game.
Oh, yeah. Just as you expect.
Yeah, Ravens ended up with the win, 27-24. Lamar was 24 for 33 for 237, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Gus, with JT being out, or not JT, excuse me, J.K. Dobbins being out. Gus led the way with 10 carries for 62 and a touchdown, while Lamar did run 12 times for 54. Then on the receiving side, man, Zay Flowers doing some work. He had a few really good catches in this game. He had a fantastic catch in this game. He had 4 for 62. Aguilar had 5 for 63 and a touchdown. Mark Andrews came back off of his injury. He had 5 for 45 and a touchdown. I believe Odell got hurt in this game.
Yeah, he tweaked something. He was on some injury report. He didn't practice today. Yeah.
Interesting. As always. Joe Burrow was 27 for 41 for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Joe, near the end of the game.
Last week.
It was definitely better than last week. You got to start throwing to Jamar, though, please. Jamar's been
I'll give him this. Burrow, tweaked his calf in the offseason.
I was about to mention
he was out of all training camp, didn't play a snap at all once in preseason. So, yeah, he's got plenty of time spent with his receivers. But still,
the timing and the
I don't care how many times. You still have to practice that all the time to be able to hit them. Plus, Chase is still a young receiver. Higgins is still a young receiver.
Yeah, he played with Chase in LSU.
Well, I'm just saying, man. You're playing against the best of the best in this league.
All right. Yeah. All right. Mixon had 13 carries for 59. Higgins had 8 catches for 89 and 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had 8. He did have 8 targets. I'll give him that. It's not like his target share is not there. He had 8 targets, but only had 5 catches for 31 yards.
Yeah, you fantasy heads out there like us, don't be worried about Jamar Chase one bit. He'll be just fine.
Some of us
be
get
patient.
A little aggravated. He's not in as many as I am, but I'll let you know I'm in 9 leagues, and it's atrocious.
You do that, man.
I will say the reason why I'm more worried this year for the Bengals started 0-2 last year.
Yeah.
And they bounced back fantastically. The issue I have is at the end of the game, Burrow hurt his calf again. I believe the same one.
Yep.
And he was on that sideline with a massager just going at his calf. And I don't think he's practiced this week. And so that, I almost agree with Chase. Chase told him to sit out, put him on, start on the pup and start week 5.
Just got paid, man. Protect yourself.
And so, unfortunately, now you've played 2 games. You're 0-2. Do they put you on the pup now, and now you can't come back until week 7?
Nah.
Who's their backup?
Who is their backup? Keep talking.
Yeah,
I'll find that out.
I don't see if this calf injury, and a lot of people, a lot of sports medicine doctors that I kind of follow on some other social sites are a little bit worried about this calf injury because it's the same one that he had in the preseason. If this one lingers and he's re-aggravated it could keep him out and throw him on the pup.
You ready for this?
Oh no,
Jake Browning.
I have absolutely no idea who that is.
Nope, me either.
Okay, all right, cool. So if he goes on the pup, they're going 0-4 during
straight out of Washington. He's
only
got 1 year of experience.
Straight out of Compton. Got it.
He's only 20. He's 27. He's got 1 year. Oh, I don't get that. But anyways.
He's an old guy. Like, who's the guy from, what's his face that just, the guy that just won the championship from Alabama. Wasn't he like 92 coming out of college?
What?
Dude. He's not old. I'm playing with you. But he was old. He was older than freaking Jalen Hurts and Burrow and all them.
Tua?
Not Tua. He just got drafted this year.
Quarterback?
Mm-hmm. Stetson Bennett.
Oh, that guy.
Stetson Bennett.
He played at Georgia, man.
Georgia, did I say Alabama? I'm sorry, the other one. Georgia. Excuse me. Sorry, wrong college. I don't like him. I don't like either of them. But whichever one is always there, and it's ridiculous.
It's Georgia now. Go on.
Alabama hopefully won't be. They look awful. We'll talk college later. So next game is Seattle at Detroit, and I got my hopes up a little too high on Detroit. Not that they played a bad game. They should have won this one. Again, weeks 1 through 4, man. There's a lot of overreactions Pat McAfee has on his show. It's Overreaction Monday, and we like to sit here and overreact. Seattle, week 1, they had the Rams dog walk them.
Yeah, they looked atrocious.
And Lions went into Kansas City and beat Kansas City. And so now we had our high hopes up on 1, and Seattle had down, and now they're back up to, I think, are they both good? Are they both bad? Listen, I think...
Too early to tell.
Right. Come back for our week 5. After, play 4 weeks, I think we're going to start to see what teams are legit. Legitly good, legitly bad, legitly you're meh. So, Seattle won this one in overtime, 37-31. Geno Smith played better. He was 32 for 41 for 328 and 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker was 17 for 43 for 2 touchdowns. DK, I felt like, here's the thing. I have YouTube TV, and I can bounce. I can't figure it out because I'm on my laptop. I'm not on the TV. I can't figure out how to get the 4 picture-in-picture, so I'm having to put one over here, and watch one behind me, so I'm always having to turn.
Sure.
Figure it out. But I was watching 3 games, and this was one of them. And obviously, I was watching the Colts and I was watching this one. I felt like DK was always going out. He was always like injured on the sideline, out for a few plays, and then he'd come back. I don't know why, but I always felt like he was injured. They'd always have some commentary that he was out, and then he'd come back in. I don't know if he's going to have like a nagging injury the whole year, but he played great. Every time he was in, he was playing great. He had 6 receptions for 75 yards. He was always making the catches when necessary. Tyler Lockett also had 8 catches for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with the game winner, I believe. Tyler Lockett caught that game winner?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So, you're always going to have DK and Lockett, and everyone's like, Lockett is getting older. He's getting those target shares. He had 10 targets this past game. He's getting his target shares. So Jared Goff didn't play bad either. A lot of people, I don't know why Goff gets all this hate, but he was 28 for 35 for 323, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Those are great numbers.
Yeah.
Montgomery was 16 for 67.
He's been looking decent.
And 1 touchdown.
He got hurt.
He did get hurt. Is he gonna be out for a while?
Yeah, he's gonna be out for a bit.
Is he?
I think he's on IR.
Did he? All year IR or short term IR?
Short term.
Okay. Gibbs went 7 for 17 and 0. Gibbs was gonna start eating apparently because of Montgomery out. So in comes rookie. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 6 catches for 102, and Josh Reynolds had 5 for 66 and those 2 touchdowns. The rookie, Sam Laporta, that tight end, had 5 for 63. He's a guy to keep looking out for. He's going to be a good blanket for.
I do have him stashed in one of our leagues.
So do I. I have him stashed in one of mine as well. I know he's not stashed anymore. He's starting in one of them.
Well, I have him or Mark Andrews. So.
Okay, well.
Pick your poison.
Fair play. All right. Ooh, I am missing. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Boop. Forgot to click on that. Ignore me. I have some technology issues.
I think user error was more
Probably
adequately stated than that.
With Kevin not here, I had to rush a little bit more. Kevin, as you know, Kevin, our editor, is usually here, helping us guide through transitions and helping set up everything. He had a situation arise today, so I was bouncing around like a madman trying to get everything set up. Threw me a little bit behind. Next game is the Chargers at the Titans. This was another OT game.
Yes, it was.
And I had the Chargers. Chargers lost 24-27. And here's what I'm going to say. They need to fire every coach on the Chargers at this point. Every coach. Head coach. Listen, you have too much talent. Your roster is too damn talented.
Well, who do you put in there? Frank
I
Reich?
do. Yes. I do. Get freaking someone out of retirement.
Bruce Arians?
Yep. Go get Bruce.
They ain't coming out.
Urban Meyer. I'm just kidding.
No,
Don't do that.
no.
Don't do that.
Don't do that to Herbert.
Get Peyton Manning out of retirement for all I care.
Coach. He's got it too good.
That is true. Tom Brady.
No, he can't.
Phillip Rivers.
I don't think legally, I don't think Tom Brady can even do that.
No, because he's about to go broadcasting for millions.
And
millions
he's also part owner of the Raiders.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's stupid. The Chargers are too dang good to always be doing this. It does not matter if they score 45. They can score 45 points.
It still lose.
And still give up 48 points. So everybody wants to blame Herbert. Herbert was 27 for 41 for 305 and 2 touchdowns. He did take 3 sacks. But as a team,
defense, to me.
No. It's 100% defense.
And they have a defensive head coach.
Which is why, okay, so maybe not everybody. Just Staley.
Yeah.
Which I mean, kind of sucks. I kind of liked Staley, but if he's a defensively head coach,
be a great defensive coordinator.
So maybe
not
he can't do both. Maybe he can't do both.
No.
I mean, the main problem here was Eckler was a scratch last moment. Eckler didn't play.
Plus, there's no timeline for his return, too.
True. Is his an ankle?
It is.
So as running back, ankles kind of suck. But so on the ground, they only had 61. But I mean, you still had Keenan Allen catching 8 for 111 and Mike Williams catching 8 for 83. I mean, your main guys are catching, they're putting up the yardage, they're putting up the points. That defense cannot stop anybody.
And plus, they played Tennessee. You'd think Tennessee, they're nothing.
Ryan Tannehill went 20 for 24 for 246 and a touchdown. He was sacked 5 times.
That's not going to last for Tennessee. I mean, the Chargers just coughed one up and it's going to bite them in the butt later on this year when it comes to playoff positioning. But, yeah, it's the defense, man. They shouldn't be giving any kind of points like that up to Tennessee. I'm sorry. I mean, Tennessee's got some great names when it comes to player-wise, but they're almost past their prime.
I mean, you have Derrick Henry who's getting up there, and he rushed for 25 times for 80 yards. 25 times for 80 yards.
Wow.
Traylon Burke, the second-year guy, he had 3 for 76, and D-Hop's on here 4 for 40. So I wonder if they start getting him more involved. We'll see. D-Hop's at the end of his career. This is where wide receivers go to.
It's like purgatory
in their career. I don't see D-Hop doing great things here. I could be wrong, but
not fantasy wise, not for that.
No,
purpose.
I think in general, I don't see him doing well this year. Maybe definitely average, maybe below average for wide receiver standards. Next game, and this is the laughingstock of the league right now. Chicago Bears at Tampa Bay. And what storylines do we got here? We got the strongest division in the league is the NFC South at the moment.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 teams are 2-0.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay won this 27-17, and it really wasn't that close. Going into the season, as last week we stated, there was so much hype around Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
There were MVP talks.
Rightfully so.
And it looks like Fields has regressed as a passer, at least. He has, I think, the weapons around him. Maybe not best weapons, but he has DJ Moore now.
Yeah.
DJ Moore is very good. Mooney has proven he can be very solid.
Mm-hmm. Cole
Kmet isn't a pushover.
Rashawn Johnson.
Khalil Herbert's good.
Yeah.
Again, he doesn't have the A-listers, I suppose.
And let's be honest, though, the really MVP performance he was putting up last year, though, also didn't come to like the second half of the season, anyways.
So again, maybe early overreactions, but right now, we can go ahead and say their defensive coordinator just stepped down.
Yes. It was
Alan Williams resigns. Yep. Taking a step back to take care of his health and family. So, 2 games in and they've lost their defensive coordinator. Fields was 16 for 29 for 211, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and took 6 sacks. They only ran 67 yards as a team. Now, DJ Moore was quiet last week. He had 7 targets for 6 catches and 104 yards in this one.
Yeah, he did.
So if he starts getting that, maybe they'll pick it up.
I have a feeling I don't think there'll be anything like MVP performance that Justin Fields going forward. But I feel like him and DJ Moore, I think, will be a pretty good pair as the season continues to grow.
Right. We will definitely see. On the flip side, Baker Mayfield is a happy story here. He played good last week. He played good this week. He was 26 for 34 for 317, 1 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks.
Yeah.
And as a team, they ran for 120 yards behind Rashawn White's 17 carries, 73 yards. And Mike Evans out here balling as always. He's fighting for that contract. He wants to be either long-term signed or be traded. And he out of 8 targets, he caught 6 for 171 and 1 touchdown, including a long of 70.
Yeah, it's like him and Baker have like this really good connection. So
just out of the blue, yeah, great connection right out of the blue. I like it. So Tampa, surprise team here out of the South.
We'll see if it keeps that though.
Then we go with, I'm sorry, horribly boring game. This was another game that I watched, and it was a snooze fest.
Kind of makes you wonder about the Chiefs this year.
It does. We're going Chiefs at Jaguars, where a lot of people had Jaguars as an upset, as did I. And Chiefs snuck away with a 17-9 win, but neither team looked that good. Kelsey did return here. Mahomes went 29 for 41 for 305, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. As a team, they did run for 101. 30 of that came from Mahomes. Pacheco ran 12 for 70. Some of those bullcrap guys that I talked crap about. One of them being Tony. Well, maybe he heard me. He had 5 targets, and he somehow miraculously caught all 5 for 35. Dude, he had like 25 drops in week 1.
Yeah, I know.
Sky Moore had 3 for 70 and a touchdown, including a long of 54. And Kelsey came back with 4 catches for 26 and 1. He might have been on a snap count, I'm going to be honest.
Probably so.
So next week we might see him in a much bigger role if his knee starts feeling better. And then Trevor Lawrence was 22 for 41. He was sacked 4 times, didn't have a touchdown, didn't have a pick. Etienne, 12 for 40. See, here's the thing that makes me so mad. You got Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
He was so quiet. Not without opportunity. He had 8 targets. And again, when these targets come, it's not always going to be like this.
No.
He had 8 targets. He only caught 2 of them for 32 yards. Then on the other side, you had Christian Kirk catching 11 for 110.
14 targets.
14 targets. So he's out here wheeling and dealing to his 2 main guys. One of them's going to catch, and just some of them were errant, So this will tighten up again. So,
it will.
Again, by week 4, I'm going to stress it. I think by week 4, things will tighten.
Yeah.
I think the loss of that preseason game is everything. On to the game of the week for us. Colts at Texans. Good win for us, with a slight loss.
Well, yeah, short term, but yeah.
So to start the game, Colts went on a very fantastic drive, and Richardson had a nice QB draw, basically untouched up the middle for a touchdown.
Yep.
And then we got a fumble pick. Something happened. We got a turnover. I can't quite remember how we got the ball back. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I missed a good chunk of the first
We got
quarter.
the ball back really short field. I think it was a fumble. And one play later, just another. Now we're real close to the goal line. AR now runs off the sideline. And what he should have done was just sped through, ran through the end zone. Like my dad said, instead he kind of slowed up to kind of walk in, and he got blasted.
It wasn't the
side.
hit from the player that did it. It was when he landed on the floor and hit his head.
So when he got hit, he kind of fell, and he whiplashed his head on the ground. And
he got right up, though.
He did like a backflip kind of thing, stood up, cheered. He played 2 more series after that.
Yep.
And then they put him in the blue tent, took him to the locker room, out for concussion. Highly doubt he's going to be playing this week.
I wouldn't rush it back.
So, with that being said, Richardson was 6 for 10 for 56, but he also ran 3 times for 35 and 2 touchdowns. Minshew then came in and played a fantastic game. Minshew was 19 for 23 for 171 and 1 touchdown. He was efficient.
It's a good, smart move that we picked him up this offseason for a backup.
Zach Moss, coming off of his broken arm, played well too. That was another thing we were a little worried about, was who's going to be our running back. Well, he took all of our snaps.
Every single bit of it.
Every single running back snap came from Zach Moss. 18 for 88 and 1 touchdown. Pittman out here, 12 targets, 8 receptions, 56. Will Mallory, big boy tight end, 2 receptions for 49 with a long of 43.
Oh, yeah.
He was out there trucking people left and right. Downs had a good game, I believe. He had a few good catches. He had 4 for 37. Granson with his first touchdown.
Oh.
Did you see his Instagram story?
Yeah, I saw it. That was awesome.
If we can get this on the green screen somehow.
Taking those.
He
Look at his newborn pictures.
He
with
took
his...
like wedding, like when you get engagement photos or you get wedding photos, new baby pictures. He had it with the touchdown ball that he had. It was hysterical, very funny. C.J. Stroud went 30 for 47 for 384 yards and 2 touchdowns. We did have 6 sacks. I will tell you this, I was making fun of it the entire game. I was a little worried you weren't chopping back at me. Zach was. You weren't. I like our defensive line. I like our run stop. I despise, with a passion, the way we play pass defense. Our corners play 17 and a half yards off the ball.
But do you think that's Gus Bradley's defense telling them to play off the ball a little bit?
It has to. It's been this for years, and it's always been for years. Every time I watch the other team, we're on offense.
Mm-hmm.
They blanket our wide receiver. They're in press and run the entire damn time. We have no separation.
Mm-hmm.
Go to our defense. We give them. It can be 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and we are 7 yards off the ball. And I'm like, why? Hike. There you go. Ball. That's 1 yard. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I was screaming at my TV because I'm like, I don't understand how you play that defense.
But to be fair, the receivers that Houston does have, albeit they're not a good team, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Robert Woods. I got him in Dynasty. But they're all very solid route runners.
They are.
I don't know if you've ever seen, and I'll look this up, Tank Dell's college stats.
I haven't.
Let me find this for you.
I just think that when you have a rookie quarterback who you've been pressuring all day, why are you leaving the wide receivers so wide open? Why can we not play bump and run on these fools? Are we not good enough? Do we not have skilled enough wide receivers? Or, I'm sorry, corners?
Yeah. Hear this. This is Tank Dell's. He played 3 years of college at Houston. In those 3 years, he had 228 receptions, 3,155 yards, 32 touchdowns in 3 years. Now he's a stud.
No, I'm not arguing.
I'm just saying, I think yes, our DBs are subpar. I don't know if Brent's is playing yet. Maybe
I don't think he is.
Maybe he provides something that we don't have when he does play. But when I did watch the game, those receivers were just running really good routes, getting open, and just to C.J. Stroud's behalf, he was finding them open.
Yeah, but I mean, do we not have good route runners on our offense to be able to create separation like that? Is that what you're saying? I
do question it. That's why I do question if Pittman really is a number 1 receiver.
I said it week 1. Anyway, here's the thing I will say, and I have a stat here. The Colts defensive line is 8 sacks, tied for 5th, and leads a run defense as giving up just 2.57 yards per carry. That is best in the NFL. We do, again, we have the 3rd youngest team overall. A lot of that on the defense. It will take games. I'm just frustrated that we're not that we're just playing off cover 2. Can we not play up? Yeah. I don't understand why we're giving so much dang cushion.
Sure.
I digress. We'll go to 49ers at Rams in a game that was much better than I anticipated. Last week, Purdy came back and was slinging it all over the field, and he did it again this week. 49ers did win 30-23. Purdy went 27 for 25 for 206, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Did have a sack. Christian McCaffrey out here running again.
Played every snap.
He had 20 carries for 116 and a touchdown. Debo had 5 for 38 and a touchdown. They were doing more of those jet sweeps again. Yeah. Purdy did have a touchdown on the ground. Debo also with some receptions, 6 for 63. Ayuk had a quiet game, which pissed me off because I needed him. He got hurt. Yeah, whatever. I need him in fantasy. That's my fantasy. I don't know. Anyway, he had 3 for 43 again. He got hurt. Is what it is. But the surprise team is the Rams. In the loss, they looked very good. They put up 23 on, I think, arguably the very close
A top 3 defense.
with Cowboys.
Yeah.
Stafford went, 34 for 50. I don't like him throwing 55 times, but
Well, it's not hurting them yet.
For 307 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 1 sack. Now, as a team, they ran 89 times, as we said, right before the game, which confused a lot of people. Cam Akers was a healthy scratch.
Yes.
They basically just took him off the team.
Yep.
So in comes Kyrene Williams, who took 14 carries for 52 and a touchdown. Boy, I need to be on these waiver wires more, and I don't understand it. Eric, not you, Stuck, and James were all over this. James annoys me how fast he's on these waiver wires. He took Puka immediately before I even knew who this guy was last week.
Sure.
I was able to scavenge him in 1 week.
Yeah, same here.
Puka had 20 targets.
Yeah.
God dang. 20 targets for 15 receptions and 147 yards.
No touchdown, but
no. And then Tutu Atwell had 9 targets for 7 receptions and 77 yards. Listen, when Kupp comes back, we made fun of the Rams being one of the most, 2 years ago, they won the Super Bowl. Last year, they didn't even make the playoffs. A lot of that was because Kupp was hurt and Stafford was hurt.
Yeah.
If Stafford is healthy, boy, this Puka guy, this Tutu guy, listen, Rams were someone that they were not on our radar to be good.
yeah, it's almost like, kind of reminds me of kind of like how the Warriors are, how they, you have an older guy like Steph Curry who's kind of like their Matthew Stafford, and the Cooper Kupp is like their Klay Thompson, getting hurt all the time. And, they keep adding these young pieces that
It just works.
Yeah, just fits into their team. Like, I've never heard of Puka Nacua before this year.
He was a 5th rounder, right? He's a 5th round rookie.
And the only reason why I knew of Tutu is because of fantasy leagues.
I knew of Tutu.
Or dynasty leagues. But, if Cooper comes back and he's actually healthy.
They're going to a spread offense.
Well, yeah, obviously the targets for, Puka and Tutu are going to go down.
They'll go slightly down.
Yeah.
But they can clearly still show that. Here's the thing. When Cooper comes back, he's going to get those safeties. Yeah. Here's my thing. Puka has clearly shown that he's a 1. He can be a 1 wide receiver. He's doing
Cooper will be the 1, but yes, he's a solid
I
too.
understand that.
Yeah. It's like Chase and Higgins.
Right. You have 2 1s on the field now.
Yeah. Brown and Smith.
Right. How are you going to cover that? Yeah. So, and if he's going to be throwing 55 bloody times again, the target shares are going to be there. It's not like when you only throw for 25, yes, those target shares are going to be mingled. You're throwing for 55.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they're going to do that, but I don't know.
Hope not. I don't know what that was going to do with his elbow injury from last year.
I mean, Brady was averaging 45 last year.
True.
As a 50-year-old. But Rams are a happy surprise, especially for a few Rams fans that I do know. We will see, especially when Kupp gets back. This could be a dangerous team.
Yep.
On to Giants at Cardinals, and this one surprised me. Giants had to make a historic comeback. They were down, 20.
I don't remember. It was bad, though.
It was bad. They were
Cardinals doing a really bad job trying to end their sweepstakes of Caleb Williams.
They wanted not to win that sweepstakes. They were down. I don't know if you can look up. Let's see, is it Gamecast? Or you can see the touchdowns. It was 20-0 before Giants scored in the third quarter. So Giants had to start coming back down 20-0. Daniel Jones did throw 26 for 37 for 321 and 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Barkley got hurt here. Mm-hmm. Did he not late in this game?
His ankle.
Unfortunately, that could sideline him. They're saying maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
He has been technically ruled out for Thursday's game already.
Right, but he has not been put on IR.
No.
Right, okay. So, while he's not on IR, we could see him out. Some are saying 3 weeks. But he did have 17 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hyatt had 2 for 89, and Waller, who we thought was going to be very active, had 8 targets, 6 catches for 76. Josh Dobbs played not bad, 21 for 31, 228, touchdown. James Conner was balling out, 23 for 106 and a touchdown. Ertz had 6 catches for 56. I don't know what to do with the Giants. The Giants had no business giving up 28 points to the Cardinals.
No.
The Cardinals are actively trying to tank, and then they're actively trying to not tank.
Be competitive.
Yeah, what are you doing? Currently now, if the draft happened today, and this is a fun fact, the Cardinals would have the number 1 and the number 2 pick, and the Bears would have the number 3 and the number 4 pick.
Oh, wow.
Just to be clear on that.
It won't stay that way.
No. I'm just saying it is very interesting how that happens.
Yeah.
Next is Jets at Dallas. I'm not staying here long. We knew it was going to happen once Aaron Rodgers went down. That offensive line looked like a joke. Now in comes Zach Wilson.
I will say this: he got the bad hand by playing Dallas for his first start of this year.
Right. I'm not saying that at all.
But I'm just saying this. There's room to improve after playing against Dallas. No one is really going to be able to do too much against that defense.
No, it does. Right, he was dealt the terrible hand that the first start he's going to get. I mean, technically he started against.
Well,
anyway, Dallas has by far I think the best blitzing core.
Yeah,
you're going to be in trouble, and I think the Jets' offensive line is not good.
If you can't get that ball out quick.
So this was a 30-10 game. It really wasn't.
Contest at all.
No, I mean the big catch was Garrett Wilson ripping off a 68-yard touchdown. So that got them their 10 point. I'm sorry, up to 10.
Yep.
Dak surprisingly had to throw 38 times. I didn't think that he was going to have to do that. He was 31 for 38 for 255 and 2 touchdowns. Pollard was 25 for 72, and CD had 11 for 143. Pollard caught 7 out of the backfield, so that's interesting. Dallas is going to be good this year.
Oh, yeah.
And then choke in the playoffs like this. Anyways, wow. Another great game. Another surprisingly interesting 2-0 team.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Washington Commanders at Denver. And Commanders pulled away with a 35-33 win. And this came down to a Hail Mary, which was completed. Broncos were down 8. You had to get the touchdown and the 2. Got it to the 50-yard line, and Russ heaved it, bobbled around quite a bit, ended up at the end zone, and they just could not secure that 2-point conversion.
Nope.
Shame. Sam Howell, though, looking good as a second. Sam, would you technically call this his rookie year? Again, kind of like Ritter?
Yeah,
this is kind of his.
I would.
He was 27 for 39 for 299 and 2 touchdowns. Did take 4 sacks. But then you have Brian Robinson carrying for 18 for 87 and 2 touchdowns. Scary Terry with 5 for 54 and a tutty. Russell Wilson, for what you have to say about him, I think he'll get there. He needs a better offensive line.
Yeah.
Holy crap, does he need a better offensive line?
Yeah, he does.
He was 8. He did all he could. He went 18 for 32 for 308, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. He was sacked 7 times. Now, wasn't this Chase Young's first game back? So I don't know how much he affected that on the flip side.
How much, but yeah, it was.
But Russ was running for his life. He ran 6 times for 56. He was their leading rusher. They did run for 122 on him. So, I mean, you look at that, not bad running. Cortland Sutton had 5 for 66. Judy was out there. He had 3 for 25.
Don't forget Marvin Mims. 2 catches.
13
yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mims, yeah.
Or 1 touchdown.
He had 1. Yeah. Brandon Johnson had 2.
It was just the 2.
So Russ did turn the ball over twice. He had the pick, and then he lost a fumble. But when you're sacked 7 bloody times, get him some offensive line help.
Yeah.
He's getting all this hate, and I'm just like, I see the improvement we want, but he's being held back by that offensive line.
Yep.
So get that, and you might do better. Now, closer game. This is going to be a close game. I have a fun stat for you.
Okay.
Tua is undefeated against Bill Belichick.
Is he?
Yes.
Nice.
Tua went into New England. I I guess the Dolphins, we should say, team game.
Yeah, just Tua.
Just Tua. Fought all 22 offense and defense.
Threw the ball to himself,
Yep.
ran it, and played defense, and kicked.
They won 24-17. A divisional game. These teams, they're going to butt heads with each other. But Tua looked good again, 21 for 30 for 249, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Mostert ran 18 times for 121 and 2 touchdowns. That's a good run game against a very good Patriots defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, okay, so I'll go Waddle had 4 for 86, and Tyreek had 5 for 40. Those target shares are there. Hill had 9. Waddle had 6. Tua did fumble twice. He did recover both of them. I will say that for the corners on the Patriots side, I do believe they were already without a corner, and then they lost a corner early in the first.
Yeah,
the guy
did something to his shoulder, his chest, or something.
So they were a little light on the corner side.
Still did a fairly well job against Waddle and Hill.
They did, and I think a lot of that helped with the pass rush.
Yep.
So Mac Jones was 31 for 42, 231, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, took 4 sacks. Looks like they're rolling with Stevenson. He had 15 for 50 and a touchdown. Then you had Devontae, of course, 6 catches, 57. Hunter Henry, 6 for 52. Gesicki, 5 for 33. Spreading that ball around. New England, 0-2. I like it. I like it.
I do too. They've been competitive in both games, though.
They have been.
Yeah.
For who they've played a very, defending Super Bowl appearance, and of NFC champion Eagles.
Yep.
Very, very easily could have won that game.
Yep.
They've played a very good, probably one of the highest offensive teams in Miami, and almost could have beat them. We'll see what that makes of that.
Yep.
So 2 more games. That was the Sunday night game. We go on to this was boring for a long time. The first half was a slugfest. Saints at Panthers ended 20-17 in New Orleans' favor.
Yes.
Carr struggled a bit more than I thought he would have against Carolina. I don't know if Carolina has just that, maybe a little bit better defense than I thought.
It could be their pass rush. I know they have a decent D-line.
Carr was 21 for 36 for 228, 0 touchdowns and a pick, and I believe was one of those picks a pick six?
I don't know.
I can't remember if that ended in a pick six. It did not. Okay, I thought no, that's the other game I'm thinking of. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself. Taysom Hill was out there being a Swiss Army knife again, though. They were using him all over the place. He ran 9 times for 75 yards. They couldn't stop him up the middle. They literally knew he was in there to go up the middle on a QB draw. He did it all 9 times, and he took 75 of those. Olave had 6 he had 11 targets. His target share is there.
Yeah.
And he had 6 catches for 86. Michael Thomas is a surprise. He can stay healthy.
That's something I think, again, really early in the season. David Carr has looked mediocre again, but once he gets, affiliated more so with Olave, Thomas, and the third receiver they have, which looks pretty decent, Rashid Shaheed. Mm-hmm. And plus you got Kamara coming back eventually here soon.
He has 1 more game out.
Yep, they could be a sleeper team.
Yes. I mean, I had New Orleans winning this division.
Yeah.
So Michael Thomas had 7 catches for 55.
Yep.
Then you have Bryce Young, 22 for 33, 153, 1 touchdowns, took 4 sacks.
Has looked the worst of all the quarterbacks.
Yes. We haven't seen Will Levis yet, but
the
starting ones.
The top
3
quarterbacks of the draft, yes.
Thielen's out here. He was their top acquiree from Minnesota. He had 7 catches for 54. Looks like he, as expected, will be his go-to guy. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah, seriously.
Now, the second Monday night game.
The more interesting one of the two.
Is the Browns at Pittsburgh. A lot of people had the Brownies. Pittsburgh won 26-22. Very defensive slugfest in the beginning. Another divisional game. They don't like each other's in Pittsburgh. I want to talk. Let's throw in this injury first. Man, it was awful.
Yeah.
They refused to show it.
For good reasons.
For
You
good
don't want to
reason.
see it.
Nick Chubb, near the goal line, looked like a normal carry. We got 5 yards. And just the way he got rolled up, he got pinned. His leg got pinned under the guy, and then he fell forward in his leg. Boy,
Was it his knee?
is his knee.
Yeah, but say this is almost the same injury.
It is the same knee.
And that he had in college at Georgia.
Same knee, looks awful. Again, they would not replay it. His knee basically just went to the.
I did see someone posted a picture on social media where it was like a side-by-side picture of his injury from college and from the game. It looks the exact same. I was like, oh, God.
So, needless to say, he did avoid I forget what the tear is of the back of the knee. I posted it to you guys. Zach sent it to us, but he was a day late. That's already been where they were fearing they would have to amputate the leg. He's past that. But he is done. He's going to have surgery. Yeah. Hopefully he comes back. That's 2 of those type of injuries on the same knee.
Yeah. I don't know. He's like 28, 29.
He was still at the top of your running back class.
I don't know now, man. I don't know now.
It's tough. It'd be tough to see him go. He was... But to alleviate that, we'll throw in the other news. Kareem Hunt was out there chilling, looking for a team to join.
Found one.
And they found one. He signed earlier today with his old team, the Browns. They needed a running back due to that, and signed a 1-year, $4 million contract, I believe. So
I don't know the details.
He knows the system. It might be a slower this week. He might not get much action, but I think he'll definitely take over for Ford.
Yeah.
Right? Ford looked good when he came in. I think it'll be Kareem Hunt once he gets in there.
Yep.
Unless they do more of a 1-2 punch. I'm not sure. But Deshaun Watson looked meh at best. He had 22 for 40 for 235, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Took 6 sacks. Now, I will say, that interception should be scratched from his record, and it should go on the tight end who dropped it out of his hands. Had it in his hands, tipped it straight to the defender, and he took it to the house on the very first play of the game.
Yeah.
That is on that tight end.
I see better days for Watson.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was 22-26. You take that pick 6 away on the opening play.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, again, Chubb, before he got injured, was 10 for 64. It looks like he didn't catch a ball here. But then Ford came in and he had 16 for 106. So, I mean, good.
Yeah, he had that one really big run that was supposed to be a touchdown, but
he had a long 69.
He got tackled like right there. I thought, nice.
69. Then you had Cooper catching 7 for 90 and Elijah Moore for 3 for 36. And you can't forget the tight end Njoku, 4 for 48. Over to Pickett, who had an awful game. He was 15 for 30 for 222, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, took 2 sacks. It just didn't look like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball.
Nope.
And he could not connect with a single receiver. Pickens had 10 targets, only caught the ball 4 times. He 127.
Yeah, he had that one really
It was a 71-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Yep. That helped me when he would look dead in the water. Najee Harris, though, as I predicted, would be on the downhill. I like Warren over Harris. I think by the end of the year, we will see Warren overtake Harris as the lead back. That is my prediction.
Bold.
I had it in week 1, and I'm going to stick by it. Harris had 10 carries for 43, and Warren had 6 for 20. I think by the end, we're going to see Warren overtake that. So, that is our recap. Again, this is going to be really interesting to see how this molds into how the teams progress.
Yep.
We're seeing a lot of teams, especially like the Bengals, not really do what they should be doing. The Bills, we had worries at week 1. Eagles, you don't know what they're doing. Chiefs, there's worries about the Chiefs. And then you have teams like the 49ers who are out here. Purdy, there were some worries. Nope, he's out here slinging and dealing.
Yeah. Everything's will settle. There's a bunch of dust in the air right now. And once that settles, we'll start to see the real teams stand up and pull away from everybody else.
Yeah. So, as far as the major news, we have one other news story. Do you have the one before we get out of here on the NFLPA?
I don't.
Okay, I have it. So earlier, we'll end on this news story. The NFL is filing a grievance against the NFLPA over allegations the union advised running backs to consider feigning or exaggerating injuries to gain leverage in contract talks, and seeking it in order
snap.
for the union to cease and desist from such improper conduct. Excuse me. The NFLPA fired back and says this is ridiculous and without merit. Great. Good comments. Of course they would.
Which means they're probably some,
Jonathan Taylor, we're looking at you.
there's some smoke there, so there's probably some fire.
They're without saying Jonathan Taylor, they're saying Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. The whole JT thing's a mess, and it's gonna.
Especially since right before the season he was fine, got a new agent. All of a sudden, 180
changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is our reaction to Week 2 in the NFL. Meet us back here next week for our reaction of Week 3, which will sure to hopefully bring some more clarity into who's legit and who's not. Peace out.
Love you.